The alarm blared across Earth Defense Station Titan, its wail haunting like a beast's dying cry. Commander Jake Sullivan bolted upright from his bunk, grabbing his uniform with hands that trembled despite 15 years of preparation. The station orbited Saturn, far removed from Earth's familiar blue skies, but now its cold corridors echoed with urgency. Jake's boots struck the metal floor as he ran, passing crew members whose worried faces mirrored his own. Everyone understood that alarms meaning this was what they had drilled for. Jake burst into the command center, a hive of frantic energy. Screens displayed data that made his stomach churn. Dr. Lisa Hoffman, her blonde hair pulled back tightly, glanced up. "Commander, we've got contact," she said, her voice steady despite the fear glimmering in her green eyes. "From where?" Jake asked, already dreading the answer. "Alpha Centauri," Lisa replied, pointing to the main display. 847 ships. Jake's gaze locked on the screen. Red dots representing enemy vessels moved in disciplined formation like predatory fish, cutting through the void. Each dot dwarfed anything humans had ever engineered. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At this speed, 6 months," Lieutenant Danny Brooks reported, his voice shaky. "Sir, they're making no effort to hide. They want us to see them." Jake's jaw tightened. Fear tactics. They worked too well. "Get me Captain Rivera," he ordered. Minutes later, Tony Rivera's face filled the main screen. His dark eyes were sharp and steady, a stark contrast to the chaos around Jake. They'd been friends since military school, and if anyone could get close to the alien fleet unseen, it was Tony. "Tony, I need recon on our visitors," Jake said. "Stay invisible. Gather whatever intel you can." "Understood," Tony replied. "I'll reach them in 48 hours. The screen went dark. Jake turned back to Lisa. "What do we know about them?" She pulled up a new display, showing strange symbols and sound waves. "We've intercepted their communications. The system's working on translation. They call themselves the Keith Moore." "What are they saying?" Lisa hesitated, her expression grim. "They're strategizing how to divide Earth after they exterminate its population." Chilling silence blanketed the room. Jake felt a coldness that the station's warmth couldn't dispel. These weren't diplomats or traitors. They were executioners coming to claim their prize. "And there's more," Lisa added. "They've done this before many times. They have a method. Demand surrender, then annihilate if refused. They've never lost." Jake walked to the observation window, staring at Saturn's swirling storms. Earth was so distant, just a flickering point of light. How could one small planet stand against an empire that had devoured 17 star systems? His communicator buzzed, breaking his thoughts. General Amy Carter's face appeared, stern and resolute. "Jake, I assume you've seen the situation," she said. Double quotes, "Yes, ma'am. Dr. Hoffman is decoding their language, and Captain Rivera is en route to observe them," he replied. "Good," she said. "The Global Defense Council is convening. Immediately, every nation is sending representatives. We need answers and a plan. Everything you can tell us about these aliens," Jake demanded, scanning the command center. His crew worked tirelessly, piecing together fragments about humanity's new enemy, General. "Judging by their fleet's scale, I don't think our standard defenses will hold," Jake admitted. "I know," Amy replied grimly. "That's why we're activating certain ... classified projects. Highly classified. How long until Rivera returns?" 3 days of observation, 2 days for travel," Jake answered. "Make it faster." 8, we might not have that long." Turned to his crew, their faces tense, yet determined. They trusted him to lead, to safeguard their homeworld. The responsibility weighed on him. "Brooks, monitor every signal from that fleet. I need constant updates." "Yes, sir," Brooks replied. "Already working." "Lisa, keep decoding their communications." "I need their battle strategies weapon." "Specs everything." "Ready on it, Commander," Lisa assured him. Jake gazed into the void. Somewhere in that abyss, Tony was closing in on the largest armada ever witnessed. Soon they'd know what humanity faced. 2 days later, Tony's voice crackled over the comms, his tone laced with dread. "Jake, you need to see this. Sending the data now." The main screen flickered, revealing images that drew gasps from the crew. Alien ships loomed, each a city-sized fortress armed to the teeth. Energy shields enveloped them like glowing armor. Smaller fighter craft buzzed between them, restless as a swarm of hornets. "How many fighters?" "Out," Jake asked, his voice low. "Over 10,000, Tony replied. "And Jake, I intercepted more of their communications. They're not just planning to attack Earth, they're targeting every human colony, every station. They're aiming to ensure no humans survive. Anywhere." Jake closed his eyes, the weight of realization hitting him. This wasn't just an invasion, it was genocide. "There's something else," Tony added, his voice hesitant. "I found records of their previous conquests. Within days or sometimes weeks, their enemies fell. The Keithmore had never faced true resistance." Jake opened his eyes, a thought crystallizing. Perhaps that was the key. These aliens, accustomed to easy victories, might have grown complacent. Perhaps they didn't know how to battle an enemy that fought back. "Tony, return as fast as possible," Jake ordered. "We have work to do." As Tony's ship turned toward Earth, Jake looked at his crew. Everything they had learned needed to reach the Global Defense Council. A decision awaited humanity: fight or surrender. Jake already knew his choice. Far below Earth's surface, Admiral Kevin Stone stood in a chamber hidden 5 miles beneath the Colorado mountains. This room wasn't on any map, and few world leaders even knew it existed. For 3 decades, this site had housed humanity's greatest secret. Around him, engineers and scientists operated computers that thrummed with power. The air smelled of metal and ozone. This was the core of Project Deep Strike. Today, it would be unleashed. Dr. Maya Patel approached, her tablet in hand. Her dark hair was streaked with gray, a testament to years spent on this project. "Admiral, the weapons are ready," she said, exhaustion mingling with pride. "All of them?" Kevin asked. Maya nodded, tapping her tablet. "Let me show you." Screens illuminated, each displaying a different weapon system. Kevin had seen them before, but today, they carried a new weight today. They were humanity's last hope. The quantum torpedoes phased through energy shields, Maya explained. They slip between dimensions, rendering them unblockable. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy a ship, triple the size of our largest battleship. She swiped to another screen, showcasing missiles that glowed faintly blue. "These are adaptive missiles," they learned mid-flight. "If the enemy tries to shoot them down or jam their signals, the AI recalibrates instantly. They grow smarter with every second." Kevin allowed himself a rare smile and the nanomachines. Maya's eyes sparkled. "My favorite, nanobots. Smaller than dust, infiltrate ships, and dismantle them from the inside. The aliens won't even know what hit them." Above, fear gripped the world. News outlets showed images of people praying, protesting, or bracing for annihilation. But in this hidden stronghold, humanity was preparing to fight. Kevin's communicator buzzed. Colonel Steve Martinez's face appeared, Jupiter's swirling storms visible behind him. "Admiral, my battle group is in position," Steve reported. 12 destroyers, fully cloaked. "The aliens have no clue we're here. How's the crew handling the tech?" Kevin asked. "Better than expected. The cloaking is flawless. We've been 30 meters from a Keithmore scout for 6 hours. They haven't detected us once." Pride swelled in Kevin's chest. Humanity's engineers had crafted technology capable of fooling an empire that had dominated 17 star systems. Their ingenuity was unparalleled. Another screen activated, showing Captain Linda Foster at the Cyber Warfare Center in Nevada. Behind her, computer experts worked feverishly. Linda's red hair was tightly pulled back, her green eyes sharp. "Admiral, we've broken into their network," Linda announced. "It took 48 hours, but we can now read their communications. Track ship movements, even access some weapon systems. You take control of their ships? Kevin asked. Not yet, but we're close. Their systems are surprisingly crude brute force, no finesse. Another day, and we might turn their weapons against them. Hope flickered in Kevin's chest. The aliens, though larger and older, were proving that age and size didn't guarantee superiority. The chamber's doors opened, and Admiral Helen Barnes entered. Commanding Earth's space defense fleet, she exuded authority. Her silver hair was immaculate, her blue uniform pristine, though worry shadowed her dark eyes. They've sent a surrender demand, Helen said. Broadcasting on every channel in every human language. Together, they approached the main communication hub. The alien message played over the speakers, its mechanical tone cold and precise. People of the third planet, it began, in flawless English, you will surrender immediately. Lower your weapons. Prepare your cities for occupation. You have 72 hours to comply. If you resist, we will burn your world until nothing lives. This is your only warning. Silence filled the chamber. Kevin looked around at the faces of his team scientists, soldiers, and engineers, all bound by the shared goal of keeping humanity alive. What's our response? Helen asked. Kevin stepped to the console. For years he had envisioned this moment. What could he say to an empire demanding Earth's surrender? What words could encapsulate humanity's resolve? He pressed the record button. This is Admiral Kevin Stone, speaking for the people of Earth. We have received your demand for surrender. He paused, thinking of those who had fought for freedom, those who refused to bow to tyranny.
Ow.
Our answer is simple. Come and take it. Helen raised an eyebrow. That's it? It's enough? Kevin replied. Let them think we're just brave fools. They'll understand soon enough. The message sped across the void to the alien fleet. Kevin imagined their commanders laughing at human defiance. Let them laugh. They wouldn't be laughing for long. Maya approached, holding her tablet. Admiral, all weapon systems are online. Asteroid bases are armed. The hidden platforms across the solar system are operational. Project Deep Strike is fully active. Kevin nodded. For 3 decades, Earth had feigned weakness, while secretly crafting the galaxy's most advanced weapons. Factories hidden on asteroids and research stations cloaked in secrecy had worked tirelessly. The Caithmore believed they were attacking an unprepared planet. They were gravely mistaken. Above, fear consumed the surface. Civilians, unaware of Project Deep Strike, prayed, protested, or prepared for the end. Their ignorance was vital. The Caithmore were monitoring Earth's communications. Let them think humans were defenseless. Deep in the mountain, Kevin and his team stood ready to show the Caithmore what happened when humanity was threatened. The clock ticked down. In 72 hours, the aliens would attack, expecting primitives with crude weapons. Instead, they would face the galaxy's most dangerous species. Colonel Steve Martinez floated in zero gravity, watching Jupiter's great red spot swirl outside his destroyer's window. The planet's serene beauty belied the chaos soon to come. In hours, this quiet space would ignite into a battlefield. 12 destroyers, cloaked in cutting-edge invisibility technology, drifted undetected in Jupiter's shadow. The cloaking systems bent light, rendering the fleet invisible even to itself. To the Caithmore scouts, this sector of space appeared utterly empty. Colonel Alien Scouts approaching, reported Lieutenant Jack Wilson from sensors. 60 ships in standard formation. Steve allowed himself a grim smile. Standard formation. The Caithmore operated by rote, repeating the strategies that had conquered 17 worlds. They thought every opponent would fight the same way, with the same vulnerabilities. They were about to learn otherwise. All ships prepare quantum torpedoes, Steve ordered. Remember, fire on my mark, then move, hit, and run. The alien? Scouts drew closer, their massive weapon-bristling ships now visible through Steve's telescope. Each vessel dwarfed his destroyer and shimmered with blue. Energy shields. The lead alien ship passed within 500 yards of his position, oblivious to the cloaked fleet encircling it. Target acquired, whispered Lieutenant Carol Adams from weapons. All ships, report ready, Steve commanded, watching as the alien formation spread into a vulnerable pattern. Their commander likely felt secure, thinking he was scouting empty space. Fire. Steve said softly. 12 quantum torpedoes. Launched simultaneously, streaking through the void like silver comets. But these weren't ordinary weapons. As they raced toward the alien ships, the torpedoes began to phase in and out of reality. The torpedoes phased in and out of normal space, flickering into invisibility before reappearing, then vanishing again. The alien ships fired lasers, but the beams passed harmlessly through the elusive projectiles. The Caithmore energy shields designed to repel conventional weapons were useless. The torpedoes moved through the shields as if they didn't exist. The first struck the lead alien ship. A brilliant white flash erupted, and then the entire vessel began disintegrating. Metal fragments spiraled into space as internal explosions tore it apart. Within 30 seconds, all 12 torpedoes had struck their targets. 12 alien ships were destroyed without firing a single shot in retaliation. The remaining Caithmore ships faltered, spinning in disarray. Their sensors revealed nothing, unable to detect the cloaked human destroyers, which were already repositioning for the next strike. Phase 2, Steve ordered. Adaptive missiles. Full spread. Each human ship launched 10 missiles. At first, they appeared ordinary, but as they closed in, their AI systems analyzed enemy defenses, adjusting to counter them. When the aliens fired particle beams, the missiles altered their courses. Against jamming signals, they recalibrated their guidance systems. With every failed attempt to destroy them, the missiles learned and adapted. On the flagship, War Master Thek Valum observed the incoming missiles with initial indifference. He had seen missiles before. Every primitive race used them. His fleet's weapons should have been sufficient, but these missiles were different. Each failure made the remaining ones faster, smarter, and harder to intercept. Explosions ripped through the Caithmore fleet as the missiles found their marks. 20 more alien ships were annihilated in the second wave. Scan for the attackers. Valum snarled in his native tongue, but the sensors revealed nothing. The humans remained invisible, untouchable. On his destroyer, Steve watched the alien fleet descend into chaos. The survivors fired wildly in all directions, wasting energy and ammunition, making themselves easier targets. "Colonel, transmission from Mars Defense Platform," reported Jack Wilson. "Dr. Nathan Scott says the main alien fleet is entering the asteroid belt." Steve nodded. The real battle was about to begin, and his mission was nearly complete. The scout fleet was broken, terrified, and confused. Perfect. "All ships prepare nanomachini warheads," Steve commanded. "Let's finish this." The third attack was decisive. Each human ship launched a single warhead. Upon impact, the warheads released clouds of nanomachines, invisible to the naked eye. The tiny robots spread across alien ships like an unstoppable plague, devouring metal, disabling electronics, and collapsing life support systems. The Caithmore crews never saw their attackers. Their ships simply crumbled, piece by piece. War Master Valum realized his fleet was doomed. The 60 ships he had brought to Jupiter, only 8 remained operational, and the enemy still evaded detection. "Retreat!" he barked. All ships returned to the main fleet. But it was too late. The nanomachines had already done their work. Ship after ship went dark, systems failing entirely. Escape pods jettisoned as Caithmore crew members abandoned their dying vessels. Steve observed the retreating remnants of the alien fleet. His strike had obliterated 52 enemy ships without a single human loss. The Caithmore still had no idea who or what had hit them. "Excellent work, people," Steve said over the fleet comms. "Phase 1 is complete. Now we wait for Phase 2. Near Mars, the main Caithmore fleet entered the asteroid belt. 300 colossal warships moved in flawless formation, radiating confidence. Their commander had dismissed the scout fleet's panicked reports of invisible attackers. Primitive humans, he thought, could never possess such advanced technology. Dr. Nathan Scott watched from the Mars Defense Platform as the alien fleet approached, around him hidden throughout the asteroid belt. 200 weaponized platforms lay in wait, camouflaged as ordinary asteroids. The Caithmore had no idea they were flying into humanity's deadliest trap. All platforms, "This is Dr. Scott," he said into his communicator. "Targets are entering the kill zone. Prepare for coordinated attack." Cathemore fleet dispersed. Among the asteroids, scanning for ships or stations but ignoring the asteroids themselves. "All platforms fire," Dr. Scott ordered. 200 disguised asteroids came alive. Weapon ports opened, revealing missile launchers. In less than 5 seconds, 3,000 adaptive missiles streaked toward the alien fleet. The Cathemore commander stared in disbelief as the asteroids transformed into weapons platforms. His fleet was surrounded, trapped in a deadly web. The battle for the asteroid belt began. The Cathemore were already losing. War Master Deckel stood on his flagship's bridge, emergency alarms flashing across every screen. In 3 hours of combat, he had lost 200 ships to an enemy he still could not see. His communications officer, a trembling subordinate named Vexi, approached. "War Master, we've received a response from the homeworld." Deckel grabbed the message tablet. His expression darkened as he read. The High Command had denied his request for reinforcements. No ships could be spared for the next 20 cycles. 400, sir, but many are damaged," replied his aide. Valum stared at Mars, frustration boiling beneath his calm exterior. His fleet had limped here after the catastrophe in the asteroid belt. Humans had turned asteroids into traps, obliterating his finest ships with weapons hidden in plain sight. But he still commanded 400 warships, and the humans couldn't have many tricks left. He would regroup, reorganize, and end this primitive species once and for all. "Signal all ships," Valum ordered. "We make our final assault. Target the human homeworld. No more delays." Meanwhile, Admiral Kevin Stone stood aboard the battlecruiser Defiance. Around him, the largest human fleet ever assembled, prepared for war. Ships emerged from hidden bases across the solar system, their hulls gleaming with advanced armor and bristling with newly developed weapons. "Admiral, all ships report ready," announced Commander Alex Turner. The young officer's voice was steady, but excitement flickered in his eyes. Kevin nodded. "Signaled the fleet. Operation Final Strike begins now." Across the solar system, humanity's secret strength revealed itself. Ships that had remained hidden for decades powered up their engines. Weapon platforms disguised as peaceful space stations opened their gun ports. Research facilities that had pretended to study non-military science activated devastating weapons. Systems Inter-Cyber Warfare Center, Captain Linda Foster monitored alien schematics on a wall of screens. Her team had spent days inside the Cathemore network, covering critical weaknesses. "Admiral, we've gained full control of their systems," Linda reported. "We can turn their defenses against them, scramble communications, even overload their power cores." "Do it," Kevin ordered. "Show them what human hackers can do." The final battle began, not with explosions, but confusion. Across the Cathemore fleet, systems malfunctioned. Ships fired on each other, navigation systems spiraled, vessels out of control, and weapon cores overloaded and detonated. "What is happening?" Valum roared from his flagship's bridge. "The humans have infiltrated our systems." Vexa, his communications officer, reported. "They're controlling everything. Impossible." "Our technology is superior," Valum protested. But even as he spoke, his flagship shuddered violently. Human hackers had accessed its engine systems, forcing them to overload. Emergency klaxons screamed throughout the ship. In orbit around Mars, the human fleet struck with deadly precision. Stone had divided his forces into hunter-killer groups, each targeting specific alien vessels. Unlike the Cathemore's rigid formations, the humans fought like wolves, coordinated, fast, and relentless. Commander Turner led a squadron of destroyers against a disoriented group of alien cruisers. Quantum torpedoes struck from multiple angles, overwhelming the Cathemore's defenses. Within minutes, 12 alien ships were drifting as lifeless hulks. "Target the next group," Turner commanded. "No survivors." Major Paul Carson led the Marine assault teams. Soldiers, clad in powered armor, were stronger and faster than any Cathemore warrior. When alien ships were disabled, Carson's teams boarded them, searching for intelligence and eliminating resistance. "Admiral, We've secured another alien vessel, Carson reported. The prisoners are talking. They say their empire has never faced resistance like this. What else? Kevin asked. They think we're demons, sir? Their word for humans translates to destroyers from the void. They believe we're an ancient weapon sent to punish them. Admiral Stone nearly smiled. Fear was just another tool in humanity's arsenal. Nearby, Lieutenant Grace Murphy worked with the AI systems coordinating the human fleet's battle tactics. The artificial intelligence adapted to each KF-4 maneuver, learning from every skirmish. In ensuring humanity's strategies were always one step ahead, the AI has identified their command structure, Grace reported, her voice steady amidst the chaos. If we eliminate their flagship, the rest of their fleet will lose coordination. Where is it? Kevin asked, turning to the tactical display. The large vessel near Mars orbit, Grace replied. It's been staying behind smaller ships for protection. Kevin studied the display. The alien flagship was formidable, heavily armed and shielded, but vulnerable now. With the Kathmore fleet scattered and disorganized, all ships new target, Kevin announced. We end this now. The human fleet converged on the alien flagship like arrows seeking their mark. Vellum saw the attack coming and ordered his remaining ships to defend him. But there were too few left, and they were too damaged to mount an effective resistance. The first wave of human strikes annihilated the flagship's escort vessels. The second wave breached its shields. The third wave tore through its hull. On the bridge of his failing ship, Vellum finally understood. His empire had grown complacent, its victories too easy. They had conquered primitive worlds with crude technology. In minimal resistance, they had never faced a truly dangerous enemy. But humans were different. They had spent centuries warring with one another, perfecting weapons, tactics, and strategies. When the Kathmore sought to conquer Earth, they had unknowingly provoked the galaxy's deadliest predators. Sir, all systems are failing, Vexor reported. Should we surrender? Vellum looked at the approaching human ships, relentless in their pursuit. Even now, they showed no mercy. No, he said quietly. We die with honor. The alien flagship erupted in a fiery explosion visible from Mars. The few remaining Kathmore ships, now leaderless, spun aimlessly as the human fleet closed in. Admiral Kevin Stone watched as the final alien ship fell silent. His fleet had achieved total victory without losing a single vessel. Signal all ships, Kevin ordered. Secure any surviving aliens for interrogation. Begin salvage operations on their technology. The great invasion was over. The Kathmore Empire had sent its finest fleet to subjugate Earth, only to be utterly destroyed before even reaching their target. But this was not the end. It was the beginning. Humanity now possessed alien technology, star charts to enemy worlds, and intelligence on a hostile empire. The hunters had become the hunted around Mars. The remnants of the KSMR fleet drifted like shattered monuments to their hubris. Broken ships spun in the void, their fragments reflecting the red glow of the planet below. Admiral Stone stood on the bridge of the Defiance. Overseeing the cleanup operation, human ships moved among the wreckage, recovering alien survivors and salvaging advanced technology. In just 12 hours, humanity had destroyed the largest invasion fleet in galactic history. Admiral 189 alien ships are requesting surrender, reported Commander Alex Turner. They've powered down their weapons and are broadcasting white flag signals. Kevin nodded. Accept their surrender. Board them carefully. I want every alien computer core intact, every star chart copied, every piece of technology studied. The victory was so decisive that Kevin almost felt sorry for the aliens almost. Then he remembered their intention to annihilate every human on Earth. Captain Sam Johnson led the boarding teams. His Marines marched through the corridors of the surrendering alien vessels, their armored boots echoing on strange metallic floors. The Kathmore crew, defeated and broken, barely acknowledged the humans. Strange, Sam reported. These aliens aren't afraid of dying. They're afraid of us, like we're monsters. What are they saying? Kevin asked. The translators are picking up phrases like demon ships and deathbringers. They think we're some kind of ancient evil sent to punish them. Kevin approached the communications console. Put me in contact with their highest-ranking survivor. Minutes later, the face of a Caithmore officer appeared on the screen, a creature with yellow eyes and green, scaled skin that seemed part lizard, part bird. Its voice trembled with fear. "I am Sub-Commander Yaktif of the Caithmore Third Fleet," the alien said. "I surrender my ships and crew to the Deathbringers of Earth." "We are not Deathbringers," Kevin replied calmly. "We are humans. You came to invade our world, and we defended ourselves." Yaktif's yellow eyes widened. "Impossible. Your species was supposed to be primitive, weak. We have conquered 17 star systems. No one has ever resisted us like this." "It was your mistake," Kevin said. "You thought being older and bigger made you stronger? You never learned how to fight a real enemy." Dr. Lisa Hoffman entered the bridge holding a tablet, her face a mix of excitement and worry. "Admiral, you need to see this," she said, handing the tablet to Kevin Stone. "What is it?" Kevin asked, glancing at the data. "The Caithmore technology is surprisingly primitive," Lisa explained. "Their ships are large and tough, but their weapons, engines, and computers are centuries behind ours." Kevin frowned. "How is that possible?" "They never had to innovate," Lisa said. "Every species they've conquered was peaceful, divided, or weak. They'd demand surrender, and if denied, they'd simply bombard the planet. They've never faced a true equal in space combat." Kevin studied the information. The alien ships were like lumbering tanks compared to humanity's sleek, agile machines, imposing but hopelessly outclassed by Earth's superior tactics and technology. "There's more," Lisa continued, swiping to a new screen. "I found their star charts. The Caithmore Empire controls 50 star systems, but their forces are spread thin. Most of their fleet was in this invasion force. They have maybe 200 ships left to defend their entire empire." Kevin's stomach churned. For months, humanity had braced for a desperate fight against an insurmountable foe. Now it seemed Earth was the more advanced civilization, sir. "Communication from Earth," Lieutenant Danny Brooks announced. "General Carter on the line." General Amy Carter's face appeared on the main screen, her expression tense but hopeful. "Kevin, the world is watching. What's our status?" "Complete victory, General," Kevin replied. "The alien invasion fleet has been destroyed. We have prisoners, intact technology, and detailed star charts of their empire." Silence followed as Earth's billions absorbed the news. They had prepared for annihilation or enslavement. Instead, humanity had triumphed. "What's your recommendation, Admiral?" Amy asked. Kevin looked at his crew, the people who had just saved. "Their species. We have two choices. We can retreat into our solar system and hope no one else comes after us. Or we can take the fight to them," explained Amy said. "The Caithmore Empire is weak and scattered. Their best ships are gone, and their tactics are obsolete. With the technology and intelligence we've captured, we could conquer their entire empire within 5 years." The weight of his words hung heavy. For millennia, humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars. Now, they stood on the brink of becoming a galactic power. Dr. Nathan Scott, listening from Mars Defense Platform, added, "Admiral, their prisoners report other species in the Caithmore Empire are enslaved, forced to serve them. If we strike their homeworld, we'd be liberating billions." Kevin nodded. The moral imperative was clear. Humanity couldn't allow such an empire to persist. "General Carter," Kevin said formally, "I request permission to plan offensive operations against the Caithmore Empire." Amy's stern expression softened into a smile. "Permission granted, Admiral. Show the galaxy what happens when someone threatens Earth." 3 months later, humanity's first interstellar warships launched from secret shipyards across the solar system. Combining human ingenuity with captured alien technology, these ships were faster, stronger, and deadlier than anything the galaxy had seen. Commander Julie Roberts piloted the lead vessel, a new class destroyer named Phoenix. Her mission, scout the first target system and assess its defenses. "Admiral Stone, this is Commander Roberts," she reported upon arrival. "The Caithmore have 12 ships defending the planet. Same outdated tech we've already defeated. Do they know we're coming?" Kevin asked. Negative. They're still using the same frequencies and tactics. It's like Earth never happened. Kevin allowed himself a grim smile. The Caithmore Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson. Attacking. Earth meant facing a species that had spent its entire history mastering the art of war. From his command center, Kevin looked out at the stars. For the first time, those distant lights weren't unreachable dreams. They were targets. The species that came to destroy Earth had inadvertently armed humanity with the tools and resolved to dominate the galaxy. The hunters had become the hunted, and the hunt was just beginning.